In this lesson, we will learn how to eliminate the perimeter. So basically change from parametric to rectangular equations. So how do we do that for non-trigonometric equations like the equation in number 1? So the first equation is a non-trigonometric equation. And as I can see, it is a part of a line where x equals negative t plus 2 and y equals 2t minus 6, and t goes from negative 1 to 4, and that's just a part of a line. So how do I write the rectangular equation from this parametric equation? Step number 1 is to solve the x equation for t. So let's start with the first equation. X equals negative t plus 2. So t will equal negative x plus 2. So I just solved for t from the first equation. Step number 2 is to substitute what you just got into the y equation and simplify. So y equals 2 times negative x plus 2 minus 6. So y is equal to negative 2x plus 4 minus 6. So y is equal to negative 2x minus 2. And there you go, that's your rectangular equation. Now in part C, they're asking me, what's the relationship between the graph and the equation you found in part B? This is an equation of a line that continues on from negative infinity to plus infinity. However, this is just a part of a line. So if you just write the rectangular equation like this, that's an incomplete answer. You need to restrict your domain. And to do that, I use the t value. So if t stretches from negative 1 to 4, what I can do is I can plug t in x. So I get that this is 3, and I plug the second value for t. So I can see that when t goes from negative 1 to 4, x goes from negative 2 to 3. So you need to remember to restrict your domain when you're changing from parametric to rectangular if the parametric is restricted. So I need to write a domain restriction. So x just goes from negative 2 to 3. Now, if I'm asked to write the range, I just plug in the values for t in the equation for y and the y equation to find the range of that part of the line. So remember, to change from parametric to rectangular, my step number 1 is to solve for t in the x equation, then plug it in the y equation. If this is restricted, the rectangular must be restricted because this represents the equation of a line that continues on for infinity, but I only want the part of the line. Please pause the video and try number 2 to find the rectangular equation for the non-trigonometric parametric equation. Step number 1 is to isolate t in the first equation. So if x is equal to t minus 1, t is equal to x plus 1. Then I need to plug this in the y equation. So y is equal to x plus 1 to the power 2. Now remember that this is an equation of a parabola. Do I need all of the parabola? Do I need to restrict this parabola? The answer is yes, I do need to restrict the domain. So in order to find the x values, I need to plug in the t in for the first equation. So t goes from negative 2 to 3. I'm going to do the same thing I did earlier in order to find the domain. So x equals negative 2 minus 1, which is negative 3. That's the first value. And x equals 3 minus 1 equals 2. So then the domain goes from negative 3 to 2. That's the domain of the parabola. Now, how do I find the range of the parabola? Earlier, we said we can just plug in the t value in the y equation to find the range. This is because this is a straight line, so that was okay. But here, what will happen if I plug in the t value in the y equation? Negative 2 to the power 2, that's a 4, and 3 to the power 2, that's a 9. In this case, plugging t in the y equation was misleading. So what I need to do is to find the vertex. And the vertex will help me decide. So I know that the higher value is 9, When I plugged in 3, 3 to the power 2 is 9. So I know I only need up till 9, but I need to know what the lowest value is. Since this is a vertex opening up, I need to know what the vertex is. So since this is y equals t squared, the vertex is the center or the origin, and in this case it's 0, 0. So then my graph goes from 0 up till only 9, just part of a parabola. Now, if this is a parabola opening downward, then probably I need to find the vertex and then find the other part of the graph, or maybe from that number all the way up to the vertex. So remember, for quadratic equation like this, I need to think of the vertex and whether it's a maximum or a minimum to help me find the range. So in this case, this is part of a curve. It's part of the parabola. Now let's move on to number 3, where we have a trigonometric function. So we have a parametric equation and I need to change it to a rectangular equation. So by looking at this, I can see that this is the equation of a circle, and that's why they're asking me to graph it. So let's graph this. Knowing that the radius is 4, since r is equal to 4, and there's nothing being added over here or here, so the center is 0, 0. So I can start from 0, 0, label the radius, and there you go, that's my circle. Okay. So now how do I find the rectangular equation for trigonometric parametric equations? So step number 1 is to square both sides and add the equations together. So let's start with the first equation. If I square it, I'll get x to the power 2 equals 16 cosine squared t. Now if I square the second equation, I will get y squared equals 16 sine squared t. Now I'm asked to add those two equations, so I will get x squared plus y squared is equal to 16 cosine squared t plus 16 sine squared t. Step number 2 is to use a trig identity to simplify. Now I can see that there is 16 in common, so let's take the GCF and let's factor it out. So x squared plus y squared is equal to 16 cosine squared t plus sine squared t. And I know that this is a trig equation and this is equal to 1. So in this case, I have x squared plus y squared is equal to 16 times 1, which is 16, and that's the rectangular equation for the circle. Now I know you know that the center is 0, and then the radius is 4, so 4 squared is 16. This is how you can check your work. So let's review the steps. Whenever we have a circle, what do I do? Or any trigonometric parametric equation. So I square the first, I square the second, I add them, I use a trig identity to simplify. Now let's use that process to help us simplify or write the rectangular equation for number 4. Now by looking at this parametric equation, I see that x is written in terms of the tangent. Usually it's written in terms of secant, and y is written in terms of tangent if this is a horizontal hyperbola. But since x is written in terms of tangent and the y is written in terms of the secant, this is a vertical hyperbola. I can tell that the center is going to be negative 1, 4. I can tell that the a is 1 and then the b is 2. So I can immediately write the equation of the hyperbola, but I don't want to do that. I need to use a process to help me get to that. Okay, the first thing I need to do is to isolate the trig, because I don't want to square tangent t minus 1. I don't want to do that. So let's move the negative 1 over. So that's going to give me x plus 1 equals tangent t, and y minus 4 over 2 equals secant t. So I just isolated the trig in each one of them. So what I need to do next is square both of them. And this is what I'll get. X plus 1 squared is equal to tangent squared t. And y minus 4 squared over 4, since I'm squaring this whole fraction, is equal secant squared over t. Now, before I continue, I need to review something with you. So in a circle, I added them because I know that cosine squared plus sine squared or sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1. In an ellipse, I add them too. But in here, I have secant squared and tangent squared. So what is the trig identity that I know that will help me set this equal to 1? So what's the trig identity? It's secant squared t minus tangent squared t equals 1. So I need to subtract this one minus this equation. So let's subtract those two. So I get y minus 4 squared over 4 minus x plus 1 squared is equal to secant squared t minus tangent squared t. So then my identity is equal to 1, this identity. So let's replace it by 1. And my final equation is going to be y minus 4 squared over 4 minus x plus 1 squared is equal to 1. And that's the equation of the hyperbola. So in this lesson, we eliminated the perimeter and we changed from parametric to rectangular equations for non-trigonometric equations and for conic equations, which specifically were the circle and the hyperbola.